And welcome everyone to an episode of Anime Declassified, Shooting the Can edition. I am your host, Miguel, here joined by the head of staff, Rizwan Merchant,
Hello.
and well, I forgot to think of a cool nickname for you, Claire, but welcome.
I'm the resident witch.
There we go. We have a
Ah,
resident witch.
Yes.
Fortune Teller Baba.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Oh, I can live with that. Just no weird hexes in my direction, alright?
Wouldn't dream of it.
Good. Alright.
And by the intro, this is just a regular Shooting the Can episode around. New year, we're venturing into another hopefully eventful year, but not in a negative way like the past 2 years have been, but more of a positive way. Hopefully, maybe.
Think
You never
happy
know
thoughts. Only happy thoughts. Nothing else may happen.
yet.
I
But
mean, we did lose Bob Saget.
we lost Bob Saget, Betty White, and John Madden in the span of a week. May they
Yeah.
You
all
know, if
rest
you
in
go
peace.
by the way Koreans do their birthdays, Betty White was 100 because in Korea, when you're born, they count your first year of life as you being 1 year old because it's your first year of life.
I count her as 100 because she's probably lived through Lord knows how many leap years.
Yeah. I concur.
We just credit them to her. But yeah, so we're just going to be basically talking about what we're kind of looking forward to this year, not just in terms of anime, but games, potentially manga as well, but just kind of things to look forward to. Last year was really the year that a lot of people actually started feeling the effects of what 2020 actually did, not in terms of like health wise, but in terms of how much stuff was actually gonna get delayed because of the issues that pop up when working from home, when you don't have as much of a workforce, especially in the entertainment business, which usually does require a lot of kind of gatherings, and with gatherings kind of being basically shut down and work from home, we actually started seeing a lot of delays. Not just we saw delays in movies, we saw delays in games. So last year, people really started saying like, "Oh yeah, this is going to affect this is going to affect us." And the negative thing about that was 2021 in terms of releases. I mean, movie wise, we got all the 2020 movies finally that were supposed to release finally coming out. But in terms of games, like a lot of titles, big titles like a Horizon, like a God of War, just got delayed. And it was one of those things where I was just like, I I'm kind of expecting it, not not really surprised. And so now here we are in 2022, which is lining up to be a pretty ridiculous year uh, for me in terms of games. Just like so much coming out, and one one game I'm looking forward to, which they say it's going to release this year, but it's a Nintendo release, so sometimes you gotta take it with a grain of salt, and that's Breath of the Wild 2.
Yes. I am also pretty eager for that. I loved Breath of the Wild. It was the first Zelda game of that type that I had played, really since Majora's Mask was the last one. I didn't have like an N64 or anything growing up. I had a lot of friends who did, so I'd go play like Ocarina and Majora's Mask at their house, but like getting to play Breath of the Wild, having that on the Switch, running around, doing everything, it's fun. It's great. And here's a bit of a hot take. I actually don't mind the the durability, and I'll tell you why. For me, weapon durability just means Link whooped that dude's ass so hard that his weapon broke. So he broke the weapon and picked up the other weapon, throws that weapon, and then grabs another weapon to kill the third guy, and it's like he's John Wick or something.
I I could see why people don't like it. I for myself didn't mind it, but one compromise I would kind of throw in there, and it's something that a game, a little known game that was released in 2001 for the PlayStation 2 card called Dark Cloud. They also
Oh,
had weapon
yeah.
durability, but they also had the ability for you to repair your weapon so that you could keep on using it. I think adding like some kind of repair powder, there's a lot of item collectibles that you got in Breath of the Wild. So I think they could just make it like a recipe for
Hmm.
just to repair the weapons because while I didn't really mind the weapon durability because I'm like I have like 15 different swords. I'm fine. It also forced me to play with different weapons as well.
Hmm.
And it made for me one of the most intense encounters was on the way to the Mirage Island, if you ever got to that island. uh, I didn't go by boat. I used the Sheikah slate and kept making ice pillars to jump across to get to it. But on my way there, I saw a shrine, which was like a medium test of strength, and I just blew through all my weapons. So it made that encounter with the Guardian like that intense because it's like
Oh, yeah.
I don't have many weapons. I got to make every one of these shots count for. But I think adding something like a repair powder or repair magic or something
Hmm.
like that to where you don't lose the weapon forever, but if it gets broken, it's not going to be as effective. I think
Yeah.
that would be a nice compromise to do it. You make people like, hey, it's not broken forever. You can repair it, but you still add the challenge of like, don't overuse this.
Hmm.
But no, for me, Breath of the Wild 2 is my most anticipated game. Whether it comes out in because the way Nintendo does their releases is like every quarter there's like one that anchors them all. And this one's probably gonna go into the November if it does come out more towards the November category. So it'll be down the line, but that is like one of the things I am most looking forward to, just to see like what they're gonna do, how they're gonna do this, because much like Majora's Mask, which they just flipped Ocarina of Time assets but created something new. I got faith that they're gonna do that really well here, and so where they go from that great foundation that Breath of the Wild did, who knows? But it's what I'm excited for the most. How about yourself, Claire? What game are you looking forward to the most this year?
Well, um, I have a couple of them. One of
Read them
them
off.
is another Nintendo release, a re-release rather. I don't know if you've heard about it, you probably have, but Advance Wars 1 and 2 are getting a remake.
Yes, they were
That is,
originally supposed to come out in December.
yeah, apparently it has been moved ahead to March or April, I think. I
Uh,
think March.
March.
They said quarter one.
Hmm.
Um, I'm super, super pumped for that. I loved Advance Wars. Advance Wars 2, probably the best of all the Advance Wars games. Great music, great tactical action game, great war game that, doesn't really have anything that matches it. There's nothing that quite plays like Advance Wars, at least as far as I've seen. So getting that on the Switch, that's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. And the other one I'm looking for is one that I actually Kickstarter backed a while ago. It is called Bushiden. Now, Bushiden is an action platformer that is another one of these. There's a lot of games that are these homages to like 16-bit era, like Genesis or Super Nintendo, or even some PlayStation. action platformer things, kind of like the Metroidvanias, but not quite. This one is based more along the lines of if you've ever played the Shinobi game for the Sega
Oh,
Genesis,
I remember fighting
particularly
Batman and
Shinobi
Spider-Man.
3. Shinobi 3 is on the Genesis Nintendo Online virtual thing.
Mm-hmm.
So check that one out if you want. It's hard. It's there's a lot of platforming, a lot of like jumping, very good tight level design, sharp controls, very good stuff for a Genesis game. And so Bushiden seeks to emulate that while having really, really, really gorgeous art and really good animations. And the dev team is great. COVID did slow them down, but this whole time they've been extremely transparent. They will release a press release. They will tell you everything that's going on, the percentages of things that they have done. So right now, they have 90% of the game done. Right now, they are filling in like placeholders. So, they're filling in backgrounds, painting over the tiles that they're going to use, making sure all of that stuff looks great before they slap it in. They're really, really, they took their time because they did not want to rush this out. And one thing that they did that I really appreciate is they took a break during the height of the pandemic to just uh let their people rest, recuperate, see their families for the holidays. They did not crunch. Crunch is a really I've worked in the game industry, QA, and I've worked crunch. I've worked 6-day, 10-hour a day weeks, and that stuff can get to you. That wears you down, and I don't think it's the way to make a good game.
Mm-hmm.
You can't beat someone down till they're dog tired and then expect them to turn out high quality and rush something. I mean, that's how you get Cyberpunk
2077.
2077, based off of Cyberpunk 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think it's really I'm pumped for Bushiden. And it's going to be I think it's going to be on Game Pass. So if you have Xbox Game Pass, check that out. I believe it will also be on Switch. Check it out on Switch if you can. On Steam. I do not have a release date though, unfortunately.
Let me see if I could find it. Futuristic ninja action platformer?
That's the one.
I see. Last updated December 2021. Looks good. Uh, I don't see one on the Kickstarter page, but I'm sure I should be able to find some more info here. Couple Google searches. But no, it's always nice when the Kickstarter project actually, you know, releases. Yeah, they don't have a release date on their Steam page either, so still up in
Mhm.
the air, but no, it's always nice. I know I backed two because I wasn't told about the ukulele one until much later, but that's why I didn't get to back that one. And then I backed Bloodstained. And unfortunately, a lot of Kickstarter games kind of have a pretty bad stigma because of some of the really successful funded ones. You look at something like a Mighty Number 9 and how
Mhm.
that game turned out. And unfortunately, like that stigma has kind of stuck around a lot of Kickstarter games where people are more surprised when one is good rather than bad. But hopefully, this one turns out to be one of the good ones and
I think
lives
it
up
should.
because I do like me some 2D platformers. There's one that I played last year called Cyber Shadow, which was an homage to the NES Ninja Gaiden games, and that game was hard, but pretty fun. I
Oh
did not
yeah.
didn't beat it, but really fun. All right, we've heard from Claire, but now it's time we hear from the head honcho himself, Riz. What games are you looking forward to? And these don't have to be released this year. It could be something that you
So
picked up recently.
there's a couple of things on my mind I want to talk about.
Yeah, go for it,
So
dude.
looking at what I picked up and I haven't really begun playing yet, of course, Pokemon Diamond had a re-release recently, and I
Yeah,
bought it, but I haven't really gotten to play it much. Just because the holiday season's been kind of wacky in many ways. Personally, um, just a lot of stuff happening. So I'd love to play that and really get myself into it because I loved Diamond back on the DS quite a bit. That was probably one of my favorite games in the series that I've played.
it was really good. Uh,
So I'm excited to see Diamond and how that plays out. I want to see the new interface, the new just how it feels. I'm really excited to see what they do.
yeah,
Um,
it's gonna feel like playing Pokemon Diamond on the DS, Riz.
well, I want to see it. So that's one.
They do have a lot of really great quality of life changes that they put in.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
so there is some positive stuff to take away from the Diamond and Pearl remakes.
Now, on the negative side, um, so I over the holidays was just really bored, and I was talking to a friend, and we got on the topic of how cool would it be to have a game where we could play as our favorite Sonen heroes and just beat each other up like in Smash.
Oh,
Well, we found out this game does exist. It's called Jump Force.
Oh,
Um,
Jump Force.
so, a couple of things here to kind of note about the game. The game will have discontinued support in, I think, February for online mode.
ooh.
Um, it will no longer be for sale by Nintendo or any other partners. It'll vanish into nothingness.
Well, and to be fair, this game has been out for a while. It's been out since
Yeah,
what, 2015, 16?
20, 2019, dude.
2019?
19.
What?
It's
Yeah.
only been
What?
out. Look,
Wow.
look. I know the pandemic messed up our ability to tell time, but wow.
They gave the hell up on that. Oh man.
Oh, dude, they didn't. It didn't last. But so I did a lot of digging into it. I watched a bunch of YouTubers, and I wanted to see what was the hate, why was it so bad, and is it worth even looking at? And what I found was a very mixed bag of opinion. And the opinion I picked up is this is a run of the mill fighter game if and only if you're playing with your friends in your house locally with no online play. If you're playing online, then you will have a very different experience. It's a whole different game online. So personally, I don't mind losing the online community if that's the case. And so to me, I just want another stupid let's have a boys' night out and let's play some Sonnen heroes fighting each other. And
So
so when I have my next gathering of the boys, that's the game I'm looking to bring bust out and see how it really does.
So, if I may
Yeah,
interject,
go for
just
it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
may have at one point put this on a most anticipated games of the year list, only to be uh the game looks ugly as sin. Like the art style they chose to go with just does not make it look that good. It
Yeah,
looks
they kind of went a little uncanny valley with a bit of it, didn't they?
yeah. It It looks like those Unreal like 4 or 5 demos that people put out, but they try to put cartoon characters in there. It just doesn't look that good because some people just don't realize that good graphics or quote unquote higher end graphics doesn't always equal a good art style. That being said,
We want
or
photorealism with extremely cartoony, highly stylized characters.
but the game like it's just a run of the mill arena fighter. Like you can pick like it has some of the cool things like the giant crossover, which is like pretty neat. And for me, somewhat like being glad that they just didn't go with like just all the popular ones, this game could have easily just been a Naruto, Dragon Ball, and One Piece fighter, but like how they went in there and how they reached for some characters, you
They
know.
have JoJo characters. I think they have some Yu Hakusho. So they're really digging deep into the shonen
Well,
genre.
right,
And these are all DLC. I mean, you have to pay extra to get them.
uh,
But
oh, I mean, Jotaro and Dio are in the base game because
but there's some other characters that are not.
no, there is a lot of DLC for this game, and that's another thing that kind of turned people off kind of right away was that they announced a season pass like months before the game even released. And there's some characters that you thought would have made the base game that ended up being DLC. A lot of the My Hero characters were all DLC. The only one in the base game was Deku. Uh, so I think that's kind of another thing that kind of tore people off. But the thing is, in February is when the online support goes off and the DLC also goes off sale. So if you're wanting to kind of get in on there, because there's some pretty awesome DLC characters. For me personally, nothing ever topped the first one, which was Seto Kaiba. Like nothing topped that ever. They started high, and everyone else was like, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool."
Can't you be the police guy from Kochikae?
No, but you'll have to settle for Rio Saba from City Hunter.
Hey, I'm cool with that.
And for me, I was like, "Hey, they put Saint Seiya in there. I'm cool with that." I think even have one of my clips where I'm like canceling Pegasus Seiya's like 3 supers into each other. But for me, like after I played through the 2 stages of the beta, I'm like, yeah, this game is definitely not gonna be it for me unless like it goes on sale for super cheap and I'm with a bunch of friends.
Best Saint Seiya uh, fighting game experiences are those seen on Mugen. Have you ever seen one of those things like Salty Bet or
Let me tell you,
Sprite Club?
you never bet against Omega Tom Hanks.
I don't know. Some of those Portuguese, some of those Brazilian Portuguese Saint Seiya hacks.
Oh yeah, no, they when you go into the X tier classes, it's pretty ridiculous. But Omega Tom Hanks, I think they actually like stopped showcasing just because of how powerful he was.
I bet he probably broke the fucking thing.
Oh yeah. But no, say like some of the franchises that they put on there is actually like pretty cool, pretty neat. But for me, it's like the crossovers is there, and if you're a fan of the series and just want to have a stupid fun time, and the game's only what like you probably got it for what $20.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, like for that price, yeah, it's a fine pickup. Just to shoot the can around
Yeah,
for
and
20 bucks.
that's all it really is. It is something for a stupid nights out when you just want to hang with the boys, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I picked
The
that up, and I'm excited to try it. I know there's a lot of negative press about it, and so I'm very interested to see how it turns out in my opinion. But
mm-hmm,
I'll let y'all know what I think. Um, Now looking at 2022,
mm-hmm.
I didn't really keep up a lot with the game industry during COVID, but I am very excited to see Pokemon Legend Arceus come out later this month.
Mm-hmm.
That's a game I've been kind of looking forward to since it was announced.
last year.
mid last year, I think, right?
Hmm.
Like summer.
I believe it was yeah, about it was at a Pokemon Direct.
Yeah.
Uh
So I'm excited to see that one. I've been kind of waiting for it to come out for a bit now. Now, the other game I want to talk about will probably not have very much anticipation by our group, but I'm very interested in Lord of the Rings Gollum. That just sounds like fun to me.
I heard about that and read something, I want to say in Game Informer or something, a while back about that. And I think it could be kind of neat. I mean, Gollum, Gollum's a neat character. I like him more in The Hobbit and like the book. Well, and the really kickin' rad Rankin Bass cartoon. Which I have a version of that is just um there's this band and they have an album called Dope Smoker, and it's just this long sludgy metal thing, mostly instrumental. And this person edited that whole album to the Hobbit cartoon movie, and it is amazing.
I've seen that before, and yeah, that's pretty awesome to watch. But yeah, Gollum was a character I really enjoyed in Lord of the Rings, in the books, in the movie, and the trailer alone was enough to get me intrigued. Now I don't know a release date. I don't think they have one yet.
just
But
2022 on its Wikipedia page.
okay, that's what I was thinking. It said the same thing on the Nintendo Life page, and I'm very interested to see at least try it out. I know it's something that maybe me and my cousin will get into for a good bit. So I'm excited. It looks entertaining to say the least.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
those are the things I'm looking forward to coming up in terms of the games and the things that I have already bought and I'm looking to play in the near future.
yeah. I'm just finishing up because today should be my last day of well, not quarantine, but self-isolation from work because I did test positive for COVID around just a few days after New Year's.
Oof.
So that was one hell of a way to start the new year. So I was able to kind of finish up a lot of my back or some of my backlog, and I'm just finishing up with Shin Megami Tensei 5. Uh, so that was fun just to be able to burn through a 50, 60 hour RPG because I actually had the time, and I'm like, all right, sweet, this isn't going to take me like a month to beat. This is just going to go down to a week. Uh, there's a lot to look forward to. Like I know like the five anticipated games, and they're not in any particular order. It's like Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild 2, or Horizon Western, whatever they're calling it. God of War, Ragnarok, and Breath of the Wild. Did I say Breath of the Wild 2 already?
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild 2, Horizon, God of War, Elden Ring, and Starfield are like the five. And those are all pretty big. Those are all pretty scattered, but you look at the rest of the year and there's just like something, it feels like there's something big that's going to be coming out every month. Like in March, you have the new Kirby game, which looks absolutely adorable.
Oh yes.
You have allegedly, potentially Final Fantasy 16 also coming out this year. You also have its spin-off, Distant Stranger, which has like the most 2000s protagonist ever, and I absolutely love it for it. This this absolute edge lord of a guy. It's just, oh man, it is something I didn't know I wanted until I kept seeing more and more trailers for that. There's just like something in there, and not to mention some of the games that were delayed from last year to this year. it honestly, in terms of games, like I think there's gonna be something this year for everyone, and it it's pretty good because last 2 years just really didn't feel like that. Like maybe one, two, or three big releases, but then like throughout, but or not throughout, but like two or three big releases, and kind of that was it. But this year, it's just like, oh, there is a lot, and then even you even have like kind of smaller titles, like a Project Triangle, like a Forspoken. Gran Turismo 7 is finally going to be coming out this year. Like, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it is going to be that kind of good year, and I just can't wait to keep going through more. It just means my backlog's going to grow a bit larger, but hey, I am all for it.
Your game backlog is probably like my anime backlog.
Oh,
Yeah.
tell me, Riz. Any exciting anime that we should be looking forward to?
Well, so as I mentioned on our Discord earlier today, for those that didn't see, I just picked up Comey Can't Communicate this morning off of Netflix, and
Good show.
I gotta admit, okay, so when I was first told about this anime, um, I was kind of like, okay, that's cool, but probably not the thing that I'll be into. I'm not really into slice of life kind of stuff, but look, the first 5 minutes, I was hook, line, and sinked. I stayed up so late last night. It's not even funny. I binged the crap out of that. It was so good. Komi Can't Communicate, for those that don't know, it's an anime about a girl named Komi, and, well, she can't communicate. But what does that mean? That means, well, she can't, she has really extreme social anxiety. She can't communicate to any of her peers. She has no friends because everyone thinks she's really conceited, uh, queen bee kind of attitude. So they don't give her the time of day. They think, oh, she's stuck up, or they idolize her and say, oh, she's so beautiful, she's so cool. She can't hang with the likes of us. So she's really kind of isolated away, and it's so fascinating to watch how they help her, kind of break out of her cell little by little. Like she doesn't like I'm on episode 5 or 6 right now, and they just do such a good job talking about mental health in a non-textbook way. And I think this anime is really important for most anyone to watch, even if you don't have mental health issues. It's just something I would recommend for everyone to watch. I cannot recommend it enough right now.
It's a
I
really cute show. I have been enjoying it. I think I've only gotten up to episode 4.
Yeah.
But from the few things I saw, because I have friends who just kind of like, there's a certain day that we all kind of binge watch everything,
Mhm.
and I absolutely love it. Like, it's pretty cute. And so, yeah, no, I agree. Like, it's on Netflix. Squid Game's over. Witcher season 2, I think, just wrapped up as well.
Yeah, it did.
Go watch that. Like,
Yeah,
you'll
just go
enjoy
check
it.
it out. It's 12 episodes. That's like not much time at all, really. Honestly, it's 20 minutes per episode, and they go by so quick. You don't even realize how much time has really passed. Um, so I'd recommend it. Wholeheartedly recommend it. Other stuff that I'm looking at for this rotation, Digimon Ghost Games is something I want to start getting into. I'm a huge Digimon fan for those that don't know. And honestly, if you don't know, then either you're new or you don't pay attention when I talk. Because I'm very interested in that. Other stuff that I want to start looking into more this season, the case study of Vanitas. I also want to look into Orbital Children. Um, I know a lot of people will talk about Attack on Titan getting its final chapter not coming out. Um, that's great. I just have could not get into Attack on Titan season 2. I lost my interest after season 1.
I mean, I have my reservations with Attack on Titan mainly because of the kind of guy the creator is, but that's for a whole other podcast.
We'll have a podcast about it one day. But
Let's
no,
just say he has some views that are extreme even by right-wing Japanese standards.
oof. So yeah, the story itself, it's cool, but it lost its interest to me after season 1, and I can't place why. I didn't have the desire to watch it anymore. It just didn't have any meaning to me. So I quit, and I haven't regretted it a single time. Other stuff that I'm kind of looking at for this coming year, I can't I can't in good conscience talk about anime coming out this year without mentioning Dragon Ball Superhero. That's coming out, I think, April in
Ooh.
Japan with the international release to come right after.
I think it might be. Uh, let's should be relatively shortly. They've been releasing the movies like relatively close to its Japanese release.
Yeah, so it's to be like in probably a month or less of it. That's my guess anyway.
They're giving
Um,
me too much hope by putting Gohan in the center.
I know, but I'm really excited to see it happen. Besides that, I'm looking into this thing that's coming out in April called Spy X Family. I watched the trailer earlier, and it just seems like a really good comedy about a family of spies, or maybe people who are spies that have to pretend to be a family to do some spy stuff. But I'm interested in watching to see more about that. Um,
Yeah,
I
that one
al-
looks pretty good.
I'm also very, very excited to see one of my favorite animes of, I think it was 2013. Devil's a Part-Timer's getting a second season finally. And I've been looking forward to that for quite some time. So I'm excited to see more of that. It'll be coming out, I think, in July of 2022. My Hero Academia, I'm not super into it, so if Miguel or Claire have a stronger opinion on it, y'all are more than welcome to talk about it, because my opinion is it's a great anime, but I didn't get past season 2 yet. And that's not because I
Um,
lost interest, but that's more because I didn't have time and I forgot about it after a bit.
uh, it's it's good. I like it. It's just like I don't know. I think kind of some of the way that some of the fan base is just reacting and just making the
Oh, I mean,
headlines.
all the fan bases out there are gonna.
Bro, that fan base is something else, though. In terms of absolute weirdness, like threatening the author, uh, just freaking out over the mere hint that the ship they are uh, championing for may not happen. Just absolute crazy people, but show's still good. I think I'm not past season 4 though, because I'm like, I'll catch up on it at some point.
I'm also real behind on it.
Yeah. Eh, it'll hit hard. Animation will be top notch for the good episodes anyway. Yeah,
I just want more Stone Ocean.
yeah. When's
Yeah, me too.
when are you releasing the next part? Netflix. Like
We're
that those
Inquiring Minds
13
wants to
episodes
know.
went by too quickly. Too quickly. Makes me appreciate the weekly cycle more now. Uh no, definitely if and when the next part of Stone Ocean comes out, that'll make the list, but oh, I'll let you go here, Claire, because in terms of the anime, I kind of gotta reset myself because I agree with Riz. I am looking forward to the Dragon Ball movie. I The CG's kind of throwing me off a little bit. Uh, so that's like the one thing I am kind of worried about. But like the last three Dragon Ball movies have been top notch, so I have faith that this is going to be good. But I'll kind of let you. I'll kind of hand it off to you because I do kind of got it. I do got to go see like what is coming out. So
Yeah.
yeah, to you, Claire.
I haven't seen anything much for as far as the latest Dragon Ball movies. I'm a little behind. Honestly, I've been watching old stuff. Uh,
Like what?
well, so there's this great service called Retro Crush,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a bunch of older, a lot of like 80s and 90s shows, things that are a little rare. A lot of things that haven't been licensed before. And the thing is, there's a lot of really good old stuff that's finally getting American releases now that didn't have it before. The creator of Rose of Versailles had this show called Dear Brother Oni Samae, which
Mm-hmm.
is basically an extremely dramatic, very dark, Mean Girls-ish story about this girl who is writing to a family friend who she calls her brother, and telling about her life in this very prestigious private school. And there's drama, and there's, fights. She gets enamored with these other students and hated by these others. There's this secret society that like runs the school in the background and things like that. Major content warnings on that one for quite a few things. It's not for kids. It's not your average high school show. There's some pretty intense plot stuff in there. It is all handled very well though. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's that. Dirty Pair is another one. Dirty Pair is on Crunchyroll and Verve too. That is an old favorite. One of the first things Dark Horse ever printed when they got back in 1986 they got into printing manga for the first time. It is the story of Yuri and Kei, known as the Lovely Angels by some and the Dirty Pair to those who are consternated with them. They are basically a for-hire action duo, kind of going on buddy cop missions, but they're not cops. Going around the galaxy with their big, huge space cat Moogie, fulfilling jobs, going on bounty hunts, and usually leaving ridiculous amounts of destruction in their wake. Dirty Pair just got a crowd-funded Blu-ray release and a new dub. Last year they managed to pull that off. And we really have Discotech Media to thank for a lot of this. Sentai Filmworks, they've been doing some amazing things. Gunbuster is getting an English Blu-ray release. Gunbuster was not released in America in full for the longest time because there was an issue with the pop song they used for the opening, because they couldn't run the opening or any of that stuff because the record company held the rights to the song and would not let them release it. So we got this weird edited version called Gunbuster the Movie, which was a thing they would do sometimes. They would edit a bunch of OVA episodes together into like a movie. They would do this with martial arts movies too. Shogun Assassin, which is the first like 3 Lone Wolf and Cub movies edited
Mm-hmm.
into one, for example. That's one of them. But yeah, we get Gunbuster, and Gunbuster's amazing. It was a Hideaki Anno before Evangelion. It's a really great kind of classic mecha thing. great classic, like the Gynax that we know and love, it was probably one of the best things they ever made, honestly. And now we're going to get a Blu-ray of it, and we're getting a Blu-ray of Dirty Pair, and there's just so many great older things that are getting releases now. And all the new generation of people that are getting into anime now's the best time ever because there's so much more available than when I was younger. And there's
Yeah.
actually places to watch it too. You're not torrenting an episode.
Mm-hmm. For me, there's another anime movie that's coming out that I'm pretty excited for, called Belle. Uh, it is done.
Tell us more. I'm curious.
So it is essentially a take on Beauty and the Beast. Uh, it centers on a girl named Belle who is an idol in this digital world. Uh, from this is just kind of seeing from the trailer I'm seeing, and so yeah, it's done by the by Mamoru Hosoda. You may know him as he directed Mirai. He directed The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Summer Wars, Wolf Children, The Boy and the Beast. So he has a really, really, really good track record in terms of writing and directing these films. So this is kind of his next big project. And like I said, I've only seen the trailer, but from what I've gathered, it's kind of his take on Beauty and the Beast, which animation is sure to be great. Like from the little I saw of the trailer, it looks really good. I believe it's showing in theaters throughout this week, so I'll probably end up catching a showing of it either tomorrow or Monday. Uh,
Excellent.
and then in terms of like other anime,
Is it out, Miguel? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
yeah, it's out in theaters at the moment.
Really?
Yes. Check your local theater to see if they hold Fathom events, which is
Okay.
why I love going to the theater that I go to. Uh, Even though, yeah, parking is a pain, I absolutely love the diverse showings that they have just because it is like a multiplex. So it's like 16 screen, no, 14 screens. And so they always have time to kind of dedicate a few of the screens to some of the anime films, which I am never going to complain. So yeah, I'll probably end up going tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, it looks really beautiful, and like I said, I've loved the work that he's done. And then Riz, you may have seen some of his work as well. You big Digimon fan?
Oh.
He did the first few Digimon movies.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
And it's called Bell.
Belle, Belle.
Well,
Check
that's
out
gonna be.
check out the trailer. Uh,
I'm gonna.
according to according to the people, it was shown at Cannes, which is a big film festival. I believe that's in
France.
France.
That's
It
that's the Cannes Film Festival is basically it's the largest international film festival in the world.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
where
kind of
movies
looking.
like there
I don't
that
know.
is where movies like
There's
Parasite.
some other ones, but Cannes is a big one. Like
Mhm.
Cannes is a really big one. It's there's Toronto, TIFF, Sundance, and then Venice is the other big one. Uh, but yeah, at Cannes, it received a 14-minute standing ovation, the longest of any of that year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's saying
Damn.
something because
Th-
Cannes is the one that people pull out all the stops for. You know,
mhm.
if you're trying to win something, if you're trying to win an Oscar, there's a formula you can follow. If you're trying to win awards at the Cannes Film Festival, you got to bring your A game and then some.
Mhm. And there's a lot of and so like that's one of those things where uh it had its premiere at Cannes. Like that is saying something where they picked this film to premiere. Like, this isn't something you can be like, oh yeah, we'll just go there. They have to literally they like you have to go through a lot to get your premiere at cons. And so the fact that they were so confident in this premiering there, like, it tells you something. Like, this guy knows what he's doing in terms of filmmaking. So as I enjoyed The Boy and His Beast a lot. I really loved Mirai. Uh, when did Mirai come out? 2018. Yeah, no, it wasn't gonna beat into the Spider Verse, but it's. And then I know a lot of people love Wolf Children, and yeah, that movie can hit you pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
So, uh, yeah, that is like the big anime movie I'm looking forward to. Can't wait to watch. And then in terms of like releases this year, haven't really seen anything that kind of catches my eye, but I'm sure I'll end up picking up something. I know I myself still need to finish the second half of Shaman King, the reboot that or the remake anime that they did, which feels so weird to me watching it without the censors and the cuts and the changes that 4Kids did for that
Ah
show.
yes.
And then I also got to get into Digimon Ghost Game because a lot of people have really been enjoying it, and I've been hearing nothing but positive things.
I've heard a lot of good about that, so that's why I want to check it out.
No, like a lot of people really like the main partner Digimon. Uh, what's his name? I don't want to say Shoutmon because I know that's wrong.
It's not Stoutmon. I don't know his name. I couldn't help you there.
But a lot of people have really been digging it. Like, I think and again, it could be one of those things where recency bias kind of takes over, but it was like I think it got like second in a Reddit poll on the official Digimon Reddit of best partner Digimon, losing only to Killmon.
That's saying a lot.
That is saying a lot. But I also kind of feel that, much like Charizard fatigue, we are kind of going through Agumon fatigue as well.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing something that's not focusing on him, on Agumon or Tai, is, as a Digimon fan, is kind of a relief right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. And then I think I'm also finishing up Orphan, which, man, I really shouldn't finish, but I started it and I got to finish. But yeah, so that's should be a pretty exciting. Should be hopefully some good stuff coming out later that we don't know. After all, it is only January.
Yep.
Yeah, we got time.
Exactly. Oh, and I also got to finish Lupin the Third Part 6. This time he's up against Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, that's right. There is new Lupin. I need to watch that.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining. I actually saw the first few episodes of that in theaters when they were doing a special showing of Lupin. They because they are re-releasing the original Lupin with a dub uh here for the 50th anniversary this year, or I guess last year. And so they showed the redub part first episode, which, man, animation from the 70s.
Oh yes.
Ooh. Were we in the time limit? What was that? Uh, so yeah, no, there's that, and then like after they got done with that, they showed the first. Uh, they showed like an episode 0, and then they showed episode 1. So I am excited for that. So yeah, uh, some things to catch up on, and hopefully some other things. 2022 is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yep.
I'm looking
Hang
forward
in
to it.
there, folks. We can get through this crazy stuff. I
Still got
will
another.
say that, as rough as things are, as scary and bad as the times may seem, we see all this bad stuff out there, but that's only because now we have cameras everywhere to see that stuff. And now, whenever there's something going on, we can call attention to it, and we can all work together and solve it. It's been tough. I know people who have lost family to COVID. It's tragic, but please, everyone, take care of yourself and hang in there. We will get through this. I will use all of my witchy magic to try and uplift each and every one of our wonderful listeners and folk out there. So 2022, let's grab this bull by the horns and let's I don't know, make some hamburgers or something.
Yeah, it's
Maybe.
a pretty exciting time. I know Riz and his crew over at Toku have been absolutely killing it in terms of content. We got some more stuff coming up your way here as well. Uh, yeah, no, now that everything's finally getting to a sense of normalcy, I finally have a normal job with normal hours where I'm not having to stay up till 2 or 3 a.m. sometimes.
Yeah.
It's been nice. So it's actually been nice not only being able to catch up on games, but be able to write about them and kind of make videos again. It's like we got a lot of awesome stuff in the pipeline for Anime Secrets. I know Riz has some special stuff lined up. I got some cool stuff. And then some of our other friends here who can be with us today. I know they got some pretty cool stuff coming up on the pipe work as well.
We might also bring back Twitch. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
See me at that Mario Party, baby.
Let's do it, man.
I mean, we do have Mario Party All Stars now.
We do.
Does
We
this
do.
mean I can be one of those cute VTuber
Oh God.
ladies? I want to be a bunny girl. I want
Sure,
to
why
be
not?
okay, cool.
But yeah, we're looking forward to it. We hope you guys stick around for the ride, and thanks for listening out there on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Really appreciate all of your support, your time. Um, 2021 and 2020 were kind of a weird time for all of us, and I know we've said it before, but I'm hopeful that this time when I say it, it'll stick. That we're gonna be bringing y'all some awesome content. Animated Classified is gonna rise like a phoenix, and we're gonna come back and hit y'all with some great stuff this year.
No, for sure. And yeah,
So
no, look forward to it. But I think that just wraps it up for us today. Thank
yes, it
you
does.
all for listening. Uh, 2022, we're just getting started. It's gonna be a heck of a ride. But this has been it for Anime Declassified. We'll hope to kind of get another one of these going sometime soon. But it's always nice just to shoot the can. Riz, sign us off.